What you're looking at right now is called our X1 portal. It's our X1 customer portal. Essentially, what you would do as an FBO is you would create a username and a password, hand this over to your local flight school, your local cargo, your airlines, and then they'll come in here and they'll go ahead and put in their own fuel orders. They can come in here and be specific about the type of fuel order that they need when they need it. They can check their fuelings and all of the orders, the statuses. So, a lot of FBOs have to deal with calls at the front desk. Hey, when you guys come in, or I have all these fuelings that took place yesterday. Can you guys hurry up and invoice them so I can put them in my book? So this customer portal will allow those flight schools and airlines to be able to see all the fuelings that they have requested with you. And not only that, as they put in these fuelings, it will appear directly on the service screen for the FBO and the CSRs. So those emails, those calls, hey, I need you to come fuel this flight school. I need you to come to the airlines. Essentially, they can do it directly themselves through here. You could also do a bulk pay feature, which will allow you to select more than one invoice and go ahead and pay several invoices at once. They can do that directly from their customer portal. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go over to the request list. This is the screen where all the CSRs live inside of X1, and this is how they go about entering the trips that are coming into their FBO. One of the cool things about us is that we have, our FBO software really does encompass everything that you would see and need to do at an FBO. So we are, our main entities are the scheduling piece, the invoicing piece, and the fuel management piece. We're very big on fuel management. Having that data all in the same place, having the same customer records when you're building requests and trips, having those same customer records be tied to the price rules and the automatic pricing that you have when you're creating invoices, and then in turn having that information all be part of the same data in the same database so that you can pull reports and smart sheets and Power BI. All of that is very important because then you can combine your sales transaction, your tracking transactions, your arrival information, and you can start to use those data points and those KPIs in any way that you would like. What you're looking at right now is a screen where the CSRs would go ahead and either put in a trip, either they would put in a trip, or the trips can come in directly through outside sources. For example, through our FlightBridge integration, you'll see here, these trips came directly through a FlightBridge feed that we have, versus these here that are showing in different colors may have come from the customer portal, or they may have come from X1 Single Point. We try and keep everything very simple, a very simple color scheme. So all you'll see is 4 colors. Yellow is to indicate a service is pending. Green is to indicate a service needs to be completed. And red is to indicate a service has been canceled. You're going to have one more color, which is blue, just to indicate that a service is in the progress of being completed. And that'll be for services that take a little bit of time. For instance, fuel takes some time. You'll also notice these little tracking icons. We do have our own tracking software. It's called X1 Tracks. You can get X1 Tracks independently without even needing X1FBO. We do offer it as its own tracking software. The cool thing about having Tracks and X1FBO together is obviously that they link together. So if you have a dispatch station, or if you have someone that's just looking at the tracking, or let's say you're at an airport that has you have competitors, right? Not everything landing at that airport is going to go to your FBO, but some of them might come to yours. So for example, here we have all of these aircraft coming into this FBO that we have KAPF. But I can tell immediately which ones are coming to me because I have that X1 logo. And if I click on that X1 logo, I can see more information about the statuses of the services. And vice versa, if I'm on the request list, I can see which of these requests have a tracking picked up from the tracker, if they're en route, and it'll go ahead and automatically mark their arrival times, their departure times. So we're going to take a look at this request right here, which is our request for November 123 Alpha Bravo. We have a fuel icon, a rental car icon, and a lavatory icon. And we're going to see what it looks like now when the line service crew opens this information up on their side. So allow me just one moment. I'm going to reshare my screen. All right, perfect. So this is X1 Single Point. X1 Single Point is what I believe to be is one of our biggest success. The whole idea behind X1 Single Point is to be able to get the scheduling into the hands of the line service technicians who are the ones outside needing to complete a lot of these services. We have this trip that we saw here, November 123 Alpha Bravo. I can go ahead and click on it. I'm a line service technician. I'm walking around on the ramp. I've been trying to call the CSR, the dispatcher. They haven't been able to get back to me because they're inside doing their job. So I can see all the information for this trip without having to wait on someone else to call me, without having to look at a printed schedule that was outdated from 8 in the morning, without having to run back into the line room and see what the schedule board is. You know, our whole goal behind FBOs and customer service is to provide a service that would set us apart from the competitors at the airport. So as you guys know, fuel is a lot more commoditized these days. And really what's standing us apart is our service between us and our competitors on the field. So using our readback feature, you have an example of a busy day where a line service just had to run up and marshal an airplane, and you know, that airplane opens the door. They may have given us that information 3 or 4 times, either through email, through text. If we're lucky, they give it to us over the air rink. But what happens is that they're giving that information to the people at the desk. And so when that plane lands and your line service technician who had to hurry up and marshal them goes to greet them at the door, that door opens, that pilot walks out. The first thing your line service asks them is, hey, what can we get you? They've already told us 3 or 4 times, right? And it's not the line service's fault that they didn't have the information right in front of them. Your company had it, you guys were ready. It's just that in the moment in which the interaction happened, that first impression, the greeting of your FBO, they didn't have it right in front of them. And that's what Single Point is changing. Being able to use this callback feature and be able to say, hey, Cap, I see you have some fuel. You're needing 500 gallons. I have a private vehicle for you, and I have a lavatory service. You'll be able to see the pilot relax and be able to now complete their services. Anything that you're doing outside on the ramp, you're going to be able to complete it right here. So not having to wait to call the CSR to let them know, hey, we completed this fuel, or hey, we completed this lab, or you know what, they're going to go ahead and cancel lavatory service. We actually don't want it anymore. They can do that all right from here. And this is going to allow your FBO to operate in a real-time status. You know, a lot of times we go to FBOs and we ask them, hey, how much fuel have you sold today? And it's never an easy answer. A lot of the questions we get, especially for those FBOs that are not using X1, is, oh, hold on, I'm waiting for these fuel tickets to be brought in, or I'm waiting for such and such to finish so that they can call me the correct meters. You won't have to deal with any of that with X1 Single Point. The biggest reason a lot of people use X1 Single Point in addition to the schedule is this piece right here. So for those of you who are familiar with FBOs and working in FBO and doing fuel management, imagine being able to see all your tanks and trucks in one view with your real-time levels. Here I have a jet truck with all the pending fuelings that I need to complete. Any movement of fuel that I'm doing outside on my trucks or my fuel farm, I'm going to record them inside of Single Point. If these FBOs have electronic meters with TCS, we can actually connect directly to the TCS electronic meter, and we can send information and read information back. So this fueling, for example, when we go to complete it, if that truck is connected with a TCS meter, all the information will be sent automatically to the preset. All the fuelers will have to do is go over to the register, hit start, pump the fuel, hit stop. That's going to complete the fueling inside of X1 with all the details about the fueling, and that's it. The fuel is created. If you don't have electronic meters, that's okay too. You could just enter in the quantity manually. So that is X1 Single Point. A lot of other cool features it can do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take you back now to our scheduling piece so that you can see how it goes into an invoice now. All right, so back in here we have that invoice, that request that we just completed. All I have to do now is click one button. All those services will automatically feed into my invoicing, where I can directly either pay with AvFuel, World Fuel, Titan, MSA, JetX. I can pay it all through here, and I'm going to get a confirmation through here. There's a lot of products and add-ons that we offer for FBOs if it makes sense to them, but these are really our core products. Another thing I just wanted to point out real quick is all the work that we've done on accounting integrations. We have, again, as Julie mentioned, we have FBOs to over 200 FBOs with all types of different accounting platforms and different systems, and we've had to create specific integrations and exports to be able to feed these transactions into these accounting systems. So this is what's called our accounting hub. This is where all your transactions will go to live until you're ready to either move it into your accounting system or generate an export, or we can have it set up automatically where you don't even need to have it sitting here. It'll just pick up, I think, every 30 minutes or so, and it'll feed it directly into your accounting system. But we can break down the entire chart of accounts, any kind of exceptions that you have. We would do all that for you here. And before I leave off, we have a lot of reporting details. I think I mentioned how we can connect and use our data layer to things such as Power BI or types of smart sheets. One of the things I'd like to end off on is our customer service and our onboarding team. I personally am biased. I think we have one of the best support teams out of any software. We have a lot of good partners like FlightBridge. I remember when I used FlightBridge, they were great about getting service and responding back to them and knowing them on a personal level and knowing their first names. That's definitely what we wanted to emulate when we started X1. And so being able to provide a chat feature where you can message us 24 hours a day or give us a call, I think that's very helpful, as well as our onboarding team. One of the things that Monica says is that, if someone were to tell her, hey, you have to change your entire CRM tomorrow, she would upright just say, no, there's no way, I'm not doing it. But if she knew that she had help and a team to help her, like an onboarding team that's dedicated to help her during the transition, then it's a little bit different. Then you'll be more willing to look at being able to change your software, because changing software is a big task to ask of an entire business. That's not just one department that has to see the entire operations, not just accounting, scheduling. So that's pretty much it.